Box Holiday by Bill Thomas. I don't want to visit Nana, she's mad. Don't say that, Harvey, sighed Mum. She's just a little eccentric. I chewed the bottom of my lip and stared venomously out the window as the car turned into the leafy road where Nana lived. It's only for a couple of days, and then I promise you we'll do something exciting. My eyes narrowed. Holidays were for fun, not for stopping with crazy old people. The car pulled up outside the house, and Mum pulled my bag out of the boot. Nana appeared at the door. She looked as if she was halfway through her thought but couldn't remember what it was. So much for a holiday. Hello, Mother, I can't stop or I'll miss my flight, called Mum. I don't know if Nana heard, because she had pulled a pencil and paper out of her pocket and was scribbling furiously. Barking, I whispered, staring at Mum. Mum's face painted itself into an apologetic grimace and she kissed my reluctant cheek. A couple of days, then we'll go to the dinosaur exhibition like you wanted. She ruffled my hair, jumped into the car, and with a beep of a horn was gone. I turned round to Nana. Your mother not with you? I stared back. The silence went unnoticed. Never mind, I have seen her before. Cup of tea. She marched back into the house, and I scraped my shoes up the gravel drive and followed her. Nana's house was a cross between a junk shop and a museum. Everything was old and framed with brass, and most of it was sprinkled with a greyish tinge of long-neglected dust. Do sit down, came the cheery voice from somewhere down the corridor. I peeked into the sitting room and surveyed my options. Every chair and table was covered with pile upon pile of fusty books. Not fun, enjoyable books with brightly designed covers. These were tatty leather tomes with the titles dimly embossed in gold letters and authors with initials, not names. I went over to the large chair by the fireplace and heaved one off so I could sit down. Physics for the Inquiring Mind, I read to nobody at all. Fascinating, I don't think. I looked up and Nana had returned. Tea? Biscuit? I chewed my lip to stifle a response. Her mouth curled up into a kind smile. Just the biscuits, she winked. I felt remorse that I wasn't being more polite, but she was mad and I didn't want to be there. She placed a plate of exotically iced biscuits onto an abandoned book-covered lamp table and gestured for me to tuck in. I suspiciously removed a bright yellow one from the top and chewed it slowly and contemptuously. So, what would you like to do? She asked brightly. My eyes lifted to meet hers, then darted away. What I would like to do, I thought, is go home. How about the garden? She offered. You could play outside in the sun. Nana's mad, and even she wants to get rid of me, I thought. I rubbed the biscuit crumbs from my mouth and slumped out of the room, headed for the garden. The sky outside was like painted glass, with no clouds to deflect the bright summer sunshine. The garden, much like the house itself, was ramshackle and untidy. Green, mossy garden ornaments stared back ominously out of prickly thorn bushes, and ivy throttled its way up and over the walls. It wasn't like there was space to kick a football around. Even a garden shed was mad. It sat at the end of a cobbled path, with an oak tree arching over it like a canopy. It was tall and painted dark blue, although some of the paintwork was chipping away to reveal the wood underneath. There were square windows with white lines across them, although I couldn't see in. Police public call box, I read out loud. The garden seemed to sigh in anticipation as I did. I reached my hand out towards it and pulled the door. It was locked. An inquiring mind, I approve, chuckled Nana from behind me. What is it? I asked, accidentally breaking my unspoken vow of silence. A great scientific achievement, she said proudly. I looked at the old rotting shed and then back at Nana. She was serious. My grandfather made it, with my help, she said, patting it like a fondly loved pet. Would you like to see inside? I wanted to refuse, but the truth was I was intrigued. Yes, I answered and paused. Yes, please. Nana held out her hand and unfurled it in front of me, revealing a shiny brass key. Go on then. I took the key from her and slid it into the lock. It turned with ease and I pulled the door outwards and stepped cautiously through. The first thing I noticed was a mass of lights flicking on in an instant. The next thing was the vast array of levers and lights, like a cross between a science lab and the dodgems at the fairground. I looked around in amazement, and then a third thing struck me. It was bigger inside than outside. I darted back out into the summer sunshine of the garden and felt my hands all around the shed as far as I could. It was definitely normal outside. I stepped back in bewilderment. Magic? I gasped. No, said Nana. Science. Everything can be answered by science. What is it? This is TARDIS, said Nana, resting her hand on a panel of switches. What is TARDIS? This, she said, inhaling deeply, is a time and spaceship. You're mad, I said without thinking. Nana looked hurt. It can't be, I said remorsefully. Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Did your mother say you wanted to visit a dinosaur exhibition? I started. How had she heard that when she wasn't paying attention? Maybe she wasn't as senile as she seemed. Yeah, I love dinosaurs. Well, how about looking at the real thing then? Her face illuminated into a beam, and the lines on her face were erased by a childish enthusiasm. Wow, really? Just pull that big red lever there, she said, gesturing to the centre of the room. I moved tentatively towards it and pulled it hard. Lights all around the room began dancing and the floor began vibrating. We were taking off. So how was it? Asked Mum as I sat back in the car. Wicked, I smiled. She looked startled. Wicked? Nana's awesome. She is? Mum couldn't understand the U-turn. Anyway, I have tickets for the dinosaur exhibition. Not bothered now. There's no point when you've seen the real thing. Mum looked at me with a bemused face. I see. The car began to pull away. Maybe Nana's not the only mad one, she chuckled. I looked in the rear mirror at Nana Susie's smiling face, her arm waving broadly. I waved back enthusiastically. Time-travelling Nanas were cool.